And the plan for the opposition is one term. Akae na hiyo kwanza.
Okay. So thank you for coming and visiting. My questions are two. The first one is related to development and property acquisition. So we know today it takes so long to go through that process. I mean, it could be years. In my family, we have two cases. One is 17 years, the succession issue. Another one is 6 years waiting to have some subdivision and all that. So when you look at those kinds of things, they discourage people from acquiring property. Discourage us from sending more money back to buy things back home. And in contrast with the US, you have places where this process takes like 30 days. And you might not even need to meet the person selling the property. Everything goes so smoothly, and within 30 days, everything is done. And I keep wondering, why can't we do that in Kenya as well? Because we will get the funds sent back to Kenya quicker because we are able to build more stuff there. The government will get its tax, its stamp duty quick, and maybe foreign investors will also be encouraged to send money back, to invest in Kenya. So I think that is something within the government's power to accelerate so that we can make it easier for people to complete property transactions.
Yes.
And second, last one is, it seems like we are coaching Kenyans to have a bad relationship with tax. And really it's the only way we can provide government services. So I'm not sure what would be your approach to raising government funds without necessarily antagonizing people with tax, because I feel like they're getting to a point where they will feel that they really don't need to pay tax, and tax is a bad thing. Thank you.
Thank you. On the issue of property acquisition and delays and bureaucracy and red tape, it is true. It's something that we need to do as an administration, together with the National Assembly and the Senate, to really review our land laws, the Lands Act, and the property acquisition procedures, to make them friendly, to make them easy. Most of these laws were crafted during the colonial period. A few amendments have taken place, but not sufficiently radical to make it easy for people to acquire property, to charge, and to transact. It's something that myself, I have really thought about, and it's something that will need also your input and others, and check what happens in other jurisdictions so that we can borrow from the world best practices. How do we make it easy for people to acquire property without compromising on safety and due diligence and care, so that we avoid fraud? So that is something that we'll commit. On the issue of taxation, nobody has a problem with the taxation. People have a problem with their taxes being misappropriated and stolen and being misapplied. No Kenyan has a problem. Mwai Kibaki, the celebrated third president of the Republic of Kenya, raised revenue from 200 billion to 1 trillion. And there was no outcry in the country because people could see the taxes were being used properly. You know? Mwai Kibaki was very clear about taxation. Alisema kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. But he used the money to educate our children free. He used the money to put up Thika superhighway. He used the money to bring about M-Pesa. He used the money to do rural electrification. No Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes. What Kenyans want, one, is no taxation without representation. Let it be discussed properly. Number two, when the taxes are raised and collected, people want return on investment. They want to see their taxes are bettering their lives. And that is what we want to commit to do. Taxes we will collect, but we will collect the taxes that are reasonable, so that you also don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. You don't overtax people, because you can overtax people, then they are unable to work. You tax reasonably and then apply those taxes appropriately in a transparent manner that is verifiable. People pay taxes and then they see a road has come up. They pay taxes, they see they are enjoying electricity. They pay taxes, they go to hospital, they find there is medicine. Nobody has a problem with paying taxes. Two more questions now.
Thank you so much. This is just to the diaspora. We've begun the process of going to Congress. President Ruto has defiled the Leahy Act here by using the military last year. So that kind of gives us grounds, but we are trying. So if you're here and you have expertise and can guide us and help us, or even know someone in the Foreign Relations Committee or any committee, please help us so that we can advance this forward. And also we are starting a Kenyan series on August 3rd at the Sankofa. It's going to be talking about the politics of Kenya, colonization period, independence period, and the Kenya now. Again, it's going to be August 3rd, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Sankofa in DC.
I'll connect you with some people. By the way, did I explain myself on the narrative of tribalism? Did I make sense?
So what I'm wondering is, if we Gen Zs don't understand the mountain narrative, how are you going to engage us and find a way to position yourself or position these politics beyond one term and beyond the defense of Mulima? And by the way, I'm not embarrassed to be Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga and Nyeri. You know, you can't get Kikuyu than that. You know, I'm very Kikuyu, but we have, you know, but that's just the truth. How are you going to convince us? Because, you know, I'm trying to explain to you the way we see it, right? There is that pride, yes, you know, of being a Kikuyu. You know, but there is also a people who don't see that. And we as Gen Zs are saying we are tribeless and we are fearless. And the politics being done now is the way it was done 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you know, and that is what is really scaring us, because if we divide ourselves, if you say you're coming to the defense of Mulima, then there's someone in, I don't know, Rift Valley or Western, who will also say they are going to that defense. And then there will be another group, I don't know, in, where? Coasts, yeah, we are going to that defense. And then now, there will be a vacuum gap, and then Ruto will become president.
I feel you. And the Gen Zs will help us deal with that nonsense. Because they are tribeless, and they are fearless, and they want change. And nobody can intimidate them or coerce them. But before the Gen Zs help us to have that change, those communities that are targeted by Ruto for extinction must be protected. Because if they are not, there will be nobody to vote. So I hear you, and I understand the way you think, but I also want to tell you, at back home, the Gen Zs your age understand what's going on, because they are just there, and they are feeling it. They can see that persecution, they can see the discrimination, they can hear the talk, and they can see the way they are being targeted. Because when you go to Kahawa Court of terrorism, and out of 100 people charged, 96 are from one area. In the cells, they talk among themselves and wonder what is happening. Yeah. So that is a situation that is there. And it behoves upon leaders, if a people are under siege, those people must be cushioned from destruction and from fear. Because if they become fearful, then the oppressor has succeeded. You see, people want to intimidate people into fear. The Gen Zs cannot be intimidated, but the rest of the population, they buy fear quite quickly. So we must keep on reassuring them, no. Nobody will target you, nobody will wipe you out, nobody will destroy your businesses, so that they feel comfortable and they are able to soldier on. You must keep on giving people assurances, especially where fear is being sold. Most of members of parliament are one term, but they cannot dare say because of fear. They cannot even go to a meeting where one term is being discussed because of fear. So you just find a few of them who are courageous. And that's where the Gen Zs now have become a movement, because they are fearless and they simply don't care. And It has even reached a place where I had to ask agencies, please, you have made your point. This guy has said you should be shot, and he's doing it. I'm requesting you, much as you are fearless, I need you to help me get the change. And for you to be useful, and for you to enjoy the change you desire, you need to be alive. And this guy is already killing you. So much as you are fearless, you cannot walk into death when you can see this is death, isn't it? So we have to blend that courage, that fearlessness, also with reality. And as a parent, as an elder, I also have a responsibility also to guide my children. Where I feel they are in danger, where I can see they can lose their lives, I have a responsibility, much as they are fearless, much as we need them to help us get the change that we desire. It will be responsible on my part as a leader to allow them to walk into death when I can see. So we continue balancing these things. It's a very difficult, delicate act, but we are getting there. So don't worry, my dear, things will be okay. I'll connect with some people so that we can work around what you are doing, and you are doing a good thing. Please continue with that advocacy, and that is the way to go. And I want to assure you, young girl, don't ask me what I'll do for you if I'm elected president or in the government that will form. I want you to come to be part of that government. We do it together. I want agencies to sit on the decision-making table so that they are part of the solution of Kenya's problem. I am also aware sufficiently that these agencies who are pushing Ruto to the corner and is not sleeping. Once we are elected, if we don't measure up to their expectation, they will drive us out of town. Very furiously and with brutal efficiency. So the only way for us to be safe is to bring the agencies on board so that if there is a backlash, we suffer together from their colleagues. Last one, so that we have to go. Okay.
Hi, cousin.
Hi, cousin.
I'm speaking on behalf of cousins.
Yes, please do.
I'm not from Central Province. I'm from your cousin section.
Yes.
So my question is direct, and it is about job creation.
Yes.
I want to talk about national job creation.